Mike, here on this Tuesday morning. Look at some of the outstanding performances the Dragons had in their win over Duluth on Saturday. Jack Strand throwing for 418-4. You heard from Brady Perriman. He joined us yesterday. Had 3 touchdowns and the game-winning 2-point conversion of the victory over Minnesota Duluth. The first time the Dragons have beaten Duluth since 1999. And each and every Tuesday, Steve Laqua joins us. And for the first time, I can tell you, you have a ranked win. And the first time they've beaten Duluth since 1999. That's got to feel pretty darn good this morning.
It does. It's a 99. That's a long time ago because I was a college football player back then, and we didn't even have the guys on our team weren't even born. So it's obviously it's been a long time. It's good day for the program, good day for the players that are in it, good day for the alumni that kind of helped pave the way and slowly but surely close the gap year after year, and then finally give us an opportunity to finally get over the hump.
All right, so we were just visiting off air. Let's go before you even got the ball. Brady told us yesterday, we're going for 2. Give me the mindset on that, of that we're going to, if we get the ball, if we score, we're going for 2.
Yeah, well, I think we kind of got in that mode when we were down 15 when we started that drive. You know, analytics would say, hey, we need to go for 2 right after that score to understand, do we need to get for 2 or not? You know, so we get the first one, we cut it to 7. And I think at that point, you know, we were pretty set of going for 2. I went and asked Coach Rorick, who is our DB's coach, but also a player, 3-time captain for us. And I just said, hey, you know, if we score, should we go for 2? And he said, you want me to ask the rest of the defensive coaches? And I said, no, I want you to answer as a guy that's been in this program that's gotten to this point. And he said, let's go win the game. We got the players that can do it. And so, you know, I think that confirmed that we were going to do it. I think the one thing that was different is we planned multiple 2-point plays. So we've got 3 that are all planned every single week. So we ran the first one, we get the 2-point conversion. So we're planning on going to the second 2-point play. And that's where the conversation became, hey, should we stick with that? Or should we just throw the ball to BP? Like, let's not overcomplicate the game here. Let's just call a play, let those 2 do their deal. And so that was a little conversation. We said, you know what, it fit with the theme of the week. Let's not overcomplicate things. Let's just do what we got to do. And so we decided just throwing the ball. Pretty basic basic football.
You are a very even-keeled, I'd say, on the sideline. Tell me your reaction when Perriman caught it.
Excited, definitely. I'm a fist pump kind of start the lawnmower type guy. So definitely had that. And then honestly just was fairly calm, just able to walk over and know, you know, kind of tell yourself, act like you've been there before. Like this is okay. You know, certainly been on the other side of those 2.
No doubt.
In 21, you know, they put a touchdown on us with 8 seconds to go and kind of took our heart and held it in front of us while it was still beating. So I think it was probably one of those type deals on the other side. It was a surreal feeling in the sense of, so once we decided to go for 2, we make that call. It felt to me very much like the first state championship game at Fargo Shanley when Devil Zyke was going for 2. We're in the huddle, we break the huddle, and you walk off of that field. So I walked out of the huddle with the 2-point play call made, going, no matter what happens here in the next 20 seconds, it's either going to be really good or really bad. It's out of our control. And it's crazy that no matter what's happened to this point is really coming down to just one deal. And just appreciated the guys' effort on the sideline, that they were resilient. They put us in that position to have a shot. And then, you know, lo and behold, we made a play.
When you see they get a missed field goal out of that, how much did momentum flip, or just what was the energy on the sideline after they missed the field goal and you're getting the ball back?
Well, if you've ever watched the movie Dumb and Dumber, where they says, so you're saying there's a chance? That's kind of the feeling that we had. Because, you know, we felt like we had a shot, and then they hit a tunnel that almost went to the house. Thank goodness Jack Bungarden chases them down and gets them down. And so that continued to give us life. Then they basically score, but they have a penalty. So then we kind of come back from the dead again there. Then they're lining up for the field goal. This guy's made, you know, 40-some yarder already in the game twice. Wide right. We're going, okay, well, we're still on it. And then we got to convert whatever 2 or 3 4th downs on the last drive. The last drive was like 17 plays. So we had our backs to the wall plenty of times, not including the drive before that.
Yeah, right.
You know, where we had some 4th downs too that we had. So we were back against the wall, match point against us plenty times that these guys we should have been knocked out, but we kept coming and getting up off the mat. And I think that's the story of the guys in this program. They've never been handed anything in their life. They're guys that just keep getting up off the mat. I think that's our program. We're in a situation probably where we're out resourced every week. Yeah. We're out facilitated. The story of our program in our DNA is find a way, and we just continue to get up off the mat, find a way to compete. We've competed long enough that we stuck in the game and had a shot to win. And you know what? On this day, lucky enough that we made the play.
All the attention, Steve, is going to be on the end, but on that last drive you converted, I talked with Brady about this yesterday, a 3rd and 19, a 4th and 5, and a 4th and 10. You got to be feeling something special. Okay, if we convert all the 3 of these, we're going to win this game.
I don't know if we thought I was going to win. And then you get the check down to score to get to the 2-point conversion. Yeah. Was a check down to Luke Imdick on the last option that he had run probably 25 times in the game, never been looked at. We joke about it in the running back room. Hey, run your route, but like realistically, one time during fall camp, you're going to get this thrown to you. One time during spring ball. Lo and behold, it gets to him, and then he still has to get the last 2 yards to get across the goal line, or we're stuck with, running out of time and being inches short. And so it was, we were living on life support, CPR moments all over the place, and the AED was working.
You said last week when I asked you about shaking off what happened against Wayne State, we got to beat them once. Tell me about the bus ride back, because you did that. You had an amazing comeback, and to pick this up, what was well, first off, the locker room. That's special. What was that like for you in there to address the guys?
Yeah, I was, on the field afterwards with the players was special because they felt like we had talked about all week. The Sandlot movie was our theme about jumping in over the fence and taking the ball from the beast, the dogs that we're playing and being legendary. And, it played out perfectly. I mean, that's about as legendary as you can get as far as a win goes. There's a lot of things that go with it. And so they kind of bought into it, definitely soaked it up at the end of, wow, we did something that was legendary, in a sense. And so hopefully there's more legendary moments, but that was great. Had an opportunity then that we all went back into the locker room, got to meet with all the families and high five them and take pictures. That was awesome. Get back into the locker room and play kind of their victory song. And that moment was special, just thinking about all the guys that have sung that song and maybe waited for this opportunity or been close to get there. And so we were standing on a lot of people's shoulders on that day that gave us that opportunity.
Brady told me, Steve, he heard from a bunch of former players. What's that mean to you that he was reached out to by guys you used to coach?
Phenomenal. Like it's ton of those guys that put sweat, blood, and tears into this, trying to get a chance to be in those games. I remember talking about, hey, we were within 8 points in the first half against Duluth. Way to go, guys. And then it was, we were within 8 points in the third quarter. Way to go, guys. Yep. Hey, we all had 8 points in the fourth quarter. Then we had it till the last 8 seconds. And then finally, so those guys have put a lot into helping us get there. And slowly but surely that's helped us get better recruits, do things better, find better ways to win. And so that was awesome to hear tons of messages from them. Shoot, we had a couple that were waiting when the bus got here to just say congrats. I mean, that's at 11:30 at night. That's impressive because there's probably a lot better things to do than meeting us coming off the bus awesome. on a Saturday night. It was really cool.
I'm breaking your 24-hour rule because we're well beyond that now. It's 72 hours beyond because you got a football game against Saturday and you're going back on the road, a long road trip because it's your non-conference opponent here. How do you worry about any letdown for this next game?
Well, I think we tried to say this, so 2 weeks ago in the team meeting, I used the Gus Bradley line of, hey, it's never as good as you think, never as bad as you think. And so I think after the Wayne State guys, they're like, yeah, that's good advice, coach. And so I'd use the same line again against these guys. It's never as good as never as bad as you think. And so hopefully it's still good advice both weeks. And there's a lot that we need to clean up on, from a football standpoint, from a non-football, hey, supporting each other, believing, resiliency, playing hard. Those things were phenomenal, but we have to execute and play better football. And so hopefully we can see that. Try and set the tone by being even keeled about it too. I told him, hey, you're going to get asked about it in the media, but other than that, we need to move on and go from there. And I think we've done a good job about that.
What do you know about McKendree? This is a team you saw last year.
Yeah, you know what? They kind of they struggled before our game. You know, we got to them pretty good, and then after that, they started winning games and ended up in a postseason bowl game. They beat a ranked opponent. Also last year, they're off to a 1-1 start. They had a coaching change kind of late in the game in July as their coach kind of moved up to the FBS as one of those off the field type guys, which when that rule passed. And so I think they're a little bit of turmoil here early. You know, they won last week, so I think they're starting to maybe hit their stride. For us, we just got to understand we got an opportunity to have a long trip, so we can really grow together as a team, or we can look at it and say, wow, this is the worst thing ever. We're on a bus for 12 and a half hours. So, hey, you only get so many opportunities to play the game. Let's play it wherever they tell us to play, and let's make the most of it and have fun.
How does this change your travel schedule from usual? What do you have planned then for later this week?
Well, we had to move a few things up special teams wise that we normally would handle Friday morning, but with the bus leaving at 5:30 in the morning, we're going to miss out on that. You know, and then it turns into a long day, so you probably miss out a little bit on your evening walkthrough, maybe the clarity of focus. But other than that, we've tried to keep everything as same as we can. The only thing we add, usually have a tips and reminders sheet for each position, like, hey, keys to victory. We had to add a travel tips and reminders. So we've got all that. So, because once we're gone, there's no turning around to get things and bring them back.
Is there movie selection? Do you have that on the bus or no?
Not usually. And
Okay.
now they just kind of watch it all on their own phones.
Okay.
And then they're watching college football on the way back. And so they've got I'll have a movie in our team meeting Friday night. That's something. And that kind of kind of fits with the theme of the week, and then that's kind of what we got to do. And so
can you give
hopefully that'll land. It landed last week.
I was going to say,
we'll
so you went early 90s with Sandlot. Can you give us a heads up what you're going to do this week yet? Do you know?
Well, that's a surprise. They try and guess it all week, and then when the movie pops up, they're like, oh, yeah, or like, what is this movie? I've had a few of those. They didn't. They never watched Ocean's 11 before. So
what?
That was,
come on.
Yeah, so I date myself on some of these, obviously.
Okay.
Was,
so what was the theme of Ocean's 11?
Well, that was we were in Mankato. It was their homecoming. There's a lot of things going on. We were going into basically take the money, steal the money right out of the vault while the big event was going on, and nobody even knew. And the greatest thing was, you know, it's tied at halftime, and when we're leaving the locker room, one of the players was like, hey, we're in the vault right now. We got the money. All we got to do is get out.
That's good.
And hey, it was great. But the same thing this week when we got to the point, we got up 14-13. We got a defensive stop here in the third quarter, and the players were like, hey, we're over the fence. We got the ball. We just got to run out without the dog catching us from behind. It's like, you're right. That's what we're doing.
That's fantastic.
And so it builds a sense of belief. I think some of them play out perfect like that. Some of them not so well, but
that's good stuff. I got to tell you, you know, I think your win resonated just as much as the Bison win did. Now, as a former Bison, I know there's a conflict of interest here, but which comeback was better, the Bison one or your guys' one?
Well, I think anytime you get an onside kick, the percentages are so low that's got to be a phenomenal comeback. That was a long battle back that they were able to do with a lot of different plays. And, you know, I texted Coach Polisek because we were at NDSU together for a brief while. And when I was a player, Coach Babich had kind of the Bison commandments, 10 commandments of Bison leadership. And he said one of them is to perform miracles when required. And so I think that was one. They had a miracle and it was required and they got it done. And, you know, happy for them.
You guys had a pretty darn good one as well that I know a lot of people were excited to see that result on Saturday. Congratulations. Safe travels this week, and we'll do this again next week, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Steve Laqua, head coach of the MSU Dragons. A huge win for their program, knocking off Duluth. They're 1-1 on the season. They head to McKendree in Lebanon, Illinois for their matchup this coming Saturday. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll get you ready for a busy Sports Tuesday. We'll answer our poll question and send you out the door as Hot Mike wraps right after this on WDAY Extra, KSFL TV, and Inforum.com.